So, very warm welcome to all of you and a very beautiful afternoon. The topic, the tips for meditation, something Ritali suggested that day. I wanted to take a class on meditation, and then she said, "Ma, give some tips on meditation for everyone." And I absolutely agreed that it is so very important that every time we take a meditation class, everything goes very do this, do this, do this, do this, but then so many hurdles and obstacles are there in your on your meditation path. To begin with, one needs to understand that you don't need to keep changing the way you're meditating every now and then. Stick to one style that you've been initiated to, and you've learned, and you've been taught by someone. That's ideal. If you're taught, if you have been initiated to meditation by someone, by a school, or by a proper method, then that's fantastic. But it's not that you can't meditate and should not meditate if you have not been initiated, because your initiations could have happened sometime in your past life as well, and that initiation is good enough for you. You don't need in every lifetime. The very fact that you're drawn to meditation and you're sitting down every day means that there is already a initiation inside you, and there is already something that tells you to sit on the seat and meditate. So you should leave that fear aside, that, oh, I don't have a guru or a master or a teacher to guide me on this path. How can I meditate? You can leave that fear aside. The ascended masters, teachers, in the Gandharvas as well as the Yakshas, the moment meditation is their favorite teaching. So the moment you sit down in a committed way, you sit down every day, every day, every day, you get adopted, you get initiated, adopted by someone or the other, who shall personally be with you whenever you're meditating. And it's a very age old thought and a belief that if you don't have a living guru, you can take on an ascended master as your guru. You have your ideals, wherever you meditate, have the pictures of people you really revere, and the masters of the highest order, attained masters, have their pictures, and submit to them, surrender to them, bow down to them, put your head down on the ground, to Mother Earth as well as to all these masters, and you sit down. This is the important thing to understand at the onset of a committed practice, is to learn to sit down every day and sit down in complete surrender. Sit down in complete surrender. That inquisitiveness and that restlessness, which is normally there in us, about should I try this, should I try this, should I put on this music, should I maybe go join that, should I go join that, oh, he's doing very good meditation. You hear people talking about their meditation experiences, and you think they're doing well and they're doing better than you, but it's not always true. It's not always true. People exaggerate, people talk, people like to talk, some people like to eulogize their experiences and paint their experiences and put across. So you don't have to belittle yourself or demean yourself by thinking, oh, I'm not having any something like that, and so maybe where he's learning, I should go there, or maybe what he's doing, I should ask him and I should do that. So this changing path again and again and not believing in yourself is a very big obstacle. It's a very big obstacle. Krishna has said very clearly in the Gita that, your meditation is a result of practice. It's a abhyasen to kaunteya vairagyancha guhate. It's a result of practice, and practice to committed practice to whatever you have learned. Because whatever practices are there, all these brands that you have of meditation, you have so innumerable brands that we know about, talk about. All these brands of meditation are good. They're all given by teachers, experts, ascended master, attained teachers, and realized souls coming from various lineages, and so they're all good. There is no argument here whether something is the best or good, or we are not judging anybody or even evaluating which of the practices is very good. The point you need to technically understand and spiritually understand is that when you close your eyes in complete surrender, you are adopted by the subtler forces and the ascended teachers, masters. And when you're adopted, you will be taken, because it's not something that you have to do. Meditation is not something you have to do. Meditation is something that has to happen. And so when it has to happen, then how much control do you have over it? When we say that it has to happen, do you have any control over it? That, oh, I wish I can do it better. You say, I wish it can happen better. There isn't anything like that. So you have to let the natural process of happening unfold. And so from your side, the doing gets over when you sit down and surrender and believe that when I close my eyes in complete surrender, I'm surrendering to God, I'm surrendering to the masters, I'm surrendering to the teachers, I'm surrendering to Mother Earth and to the elements and to the Akasha, and talk of all the higher things that you know about. You surrender, put your head down on the ground and sit in that stance. You will be able to get rid of that ego, which is all that I'm arguing with you and suggesting to you many different things again and again to experience or explore. Okay, you have to put that ego aside. You have to put that ego to sleep. Okay, boss, you go to sleep now. You have no work now for the next half an hour. I'm going to sit down with my teachers, masters. I'm going to sit down with God. I'm going to sit down with nature. I'm going to sit down with existence. Call whatever suits your psychology. There are people who are allergic to the word God. There are people who are allergic to submission to masters. I mean, you understand your own psychology and surrender to whatever force you believe in. I'm sure there is some or the other force that you believe in that is far more powerful than our life and our, all the existence put together. There is a force that's controlling this, submit to this power, and that's your first step. And that's your first step. And do this every day, every day, every day. And how long you should be sitting? 20 minutes to half an hour. Half an hour, ideally, it's nice if you begin with half an hour straight away, instead of taking yourself on stage 1 and stage 2 and half an hour, just sit down with eyes closed. Maybe in the beginning, you would have itching and this thing there, you want to move your legs go numb, and your neck and this and that, put on the fan. And there are props and there are some support systems that many teachers recommend. For instance, you have transcendental music, or you have very beautiful instrumental tracks that are very meditative. And there are these various frequency tracks. You have 256 megahertz and 700 megahertz. All these tracks are there that are transcending in nature. They're helpful. But my point to tell you is that if you put yourself in a habit of listening to something and transcending, you always would get hooked to that, and you get attached to that. Meditation done in the purest form, like a yogi, like a Shiva, sitting in straight posture with the back erect and the neck erect, and the chin slightly tucked in like that. That posture from the beginning, if you give yourself the habit, or you train yourself from the beginning, there is nothing more better than that. Yes, if you are a very unrestful person, a very uneasy person, and you can't sit down with anything and you get scared closing your eyes, if you have any such issues, then it's not a bad idea to put on a small, very peaceful instrumental track and be with that. A half an hour music, and that, okay, half an hour now, I don't have to open my eyes till the music, then that's a good help. Yeah. And maybe then sometime later you could let go of the music and can sit down, just like that. What happens is, I'll tell you, what happens is, when you listen to music or when you listen to anything, you're involving one of your senses. The Shravan is going on, and then that's helping you to relax the mind, because what you're hearing has been designed carefully for relaxation and for meditation. So that helps you, but it takes you into deep level of contemplation, and it may take you from your waking state to a dream state. It can take you from a waking state to a dream state. But to go into Shushupti, or to go even beyond into Turiya, that means to enter into a state of samadhi, is not what will happen with the music. It is rare, because it needs to just, all the senses need to just close down for you to enter into samadhi. So it becomes difficult then in later stages for you to get rid of the music and then be in your own silence. That's why it's advised that from the beginning you train yourself not to depend on any such systems. Okay, so the first thing that you should do is come in a surrendered mode. You think about all the powers that you believe in, and you surrender. You put your head down on the ground and then sit on the seat of meditation. The seat of meditation can be on the floor with a mat. with something like a kusha grass, or you have these straw mats are there which are warm in nature. Basically, you need to create a warm seat for your meditation. A warm seat for the meditation gives a good impetus to the Muladhara. It gives a good support to the Muladhara, and your meditation kind of happens very easily. Also, the earthing, you're connecting with the earth element, and that gives you a very good support. Okay, so if you can take kusha grass, or you can take a nice thick blanket, and if you can sit on the floor, very nice. But many people, those who are practicing yoga, can sit on the floor. You, I think, would sit in a straight sukhasana, or Padmasana is difficult, but if not, then sukhasana, or any asana that would give you a relaxed posture, not numb your legs anywhere, and the spine is erect, and the neck is erect, and you're able to sit half an hour without making a movement, then sit on the floor. Otherwise, take a zafu. I always advise people to take a zafu. Take a nice round, thick cotton pillow, stuffed with cotton, not with buckwheat, or not the fancy ones that you get today with that fiber or anything, because you sit in and you go inside, and you go inside the pillow. The pillow doesn't give you any kind of a, so you need something, even foam, not even foam. Coir is okay. You can use coir. If it's stuffed with coir, it's fine. The best is cotton, and nice, thick, tight pillow. If you don't want to use a pillow, if you don't have a pillow, you could even roll a blanket or a towel, a thick towel, to make a 5 inches, about 5 inches kind of a upliftment, where your hip bone can rest, your tailbone can rest, and you would have your knees down further on the ground, to make a position like a tripod. All right, sitting on a zafu, you can Google sitting on a zafu picture, and you'll know how exactly you need to sit, with the knees staying on the ground. So that's a very nice way to meditate for people who can't sit on the floor, and people who don't want yet to go into a chair to sit and meditate. This is a very good option. It gives you an organic way and a posture which is very scientific and very workable for meditation. You can sit for nice long hours in meditation in that posture with the zafu, or with a cushion, or with the towel. Okay, so this is point number 2. Your first one was surrender. Point number 2 was sitting posture. In this posture, none of your feet or your calf muscles or your thighs need to press excessively anywhere, and they go numb because of no circulation. You should ensure that you are very, very comfortable. Each one of you will have to practice it yourself to try. It's a hit and trial method to see which posture is comfortable for you. And if you can't sit down on the zafu, and you don't want to, your knees are having a problem because the knees need to bend if you're sitting on the zafu, then the next option is to sit on the chair. On the chair, you never go back like that and sit down and meditate. That's not the way to meditate. When you're meditating on a chair, then you need to sit upright, with your ensuring that your back is straight, neck is in line, and chin is a little tucked in, and hands are on the thighs, and back is not touching the chair back. It's in straight line, absolutely. So, and feet grounded, feet on the ground. This is also a very beautiful posture to sit, and especially for those who have problems sitting down, it's nice to sit in the chair. It's very nice to sit in the chair and sit in a place where there is, you cannot search for a soundproof place. That's difficult. At home, maybe yes, but if you're sitting outside anywhere, let's say you want to sit in the balcony and want to do your meditation, you can perfectly do it. And there would be children shouting or dogs barking, or there would be somebody, let it be there. Learn to meditate with whatever is in the universe. Learn to meditate taking into acceptance everything that is in the surrounding, instead of training yourself to go into a cave or in a place where there's no noise. It's very difficult, and then somebody shouts, or somebody, then it would be like too much of a shocker for you, for your body. So from the beginning, train yourself to sit with everything as it is in the surrounding, and also experiment meditating in public places. Like sometimes you've gone to a park, let's say, and you just sit down there on the bench and just close your eyes and get in touch with the peace inside you. It's very, I will explain to you what are the simple ways in which you can experience peace within you. Yeah, we'll talk about it. So even a public place, sometimes on a railway station, on a waiting room, or your the lounge, or you're going to the airport, you sit there, you're waiting for your boarding, you sit up, experiment, close your eyes and experiment. 15 minutes. Can I just experience the peace within me? You'll be surprised that everything becomes null and void outside, and you can experience peace within you, even in a public chaotic place, marketplace. Sometimes you can just sit down somewhere and see if you can get in touch with peace. This experimenting with, can I get in touch with peace, is such a fabulous thing, because it then gives you possibilities of getting in touch with peace in the chaos of your life and in the turbulences of your life. It kind of trains your body and mind to come in touch with the peace at your will, to come in touch with peace inside the heart at your will. It also would teach you instantly how to distance yourself from the chaos. It would train you for something fathomless, I'm telling you. Okay, so make sure that you're not getting used to meditating in extreme silence or in extreme, no such thing. In normal situations and normal life and normal environment, teach yourself to meditate. Okay, and so you're beginning your journey, you're surrendering, then you're sitting in the right posture, then or sitting in the chair with the spine erect, neck erect, and chin little tucked in, body entirely relaxed, eyes closed. Okay, this is the beginning now. Now when you keep your eyes closed, then very consciously relax the muscles everywhere. So there is no hype and there is no worked up condition for meditation. It has to tell yourself, relax, relax. I just want to relax. I relax. I relax. Take yourself from a thought relaxation from the head to the toe. Let every muscle, every cell of your body, speak to every muscle and every cell of your body to ask the muscles to relax, ask the cells to relax. Be aware of your breath, how you're inhaling, how you're exhaling. Let you become aware of your breath, how your stomach and your chest move as you breathe in, breathe out. Keep your attention, focus on your breath, and just observe. You're not meditating. The moment you tell yourself, oh, I have to meditate, what am I doing? Why am I seeing my breath? So don't push yourself into meditation at all. Meditation has to happen. I told you, it cannot be done. So don't push yourself into meditation. That's not required. It will happen when it has to happen. So what do you do when your eyes are closed? When your eyes are closed, just be aware of your breath. Keep consciously telling yourself to relax. Let everything go into a sleep mode. Let everything go into a complete relaxation. And then be aware of your eyes. Something very fantastic that I learned from my teachers, that when you become aware of your eyes, and when the eyeballs, when your eyes are closed and your eyeballs, bring your attention to the eyes and try to just let them be stationed. Let the eyeballs be stationed at any one particular place. Let your eyeballs be stationed at any one place. Again, it's not a very forceful holding your eyeballs. It's about becoming aware. It's about becoming aware. Let them not dance here and there. Let them just be, as centered as possible, as centered as possible, And so there are these two things that you're taking into your observation when you are beginning your journey with your eyes closed. One is your breath. You're watching your breath, how you're breathing in and breathing out, and with every breathing out, it's more and more relaxation. Keep telling your muscles to relax, your cells to relax. And the second thing that you bring into your observation is your attention coming alternately from the eyes to the breath, from the eyes to the breath. It's something like your entire doing, if there is any doing, is to keep your attention on the eyeballs, not to let them move much, and then keeping your observation on how you're breathing, how you're breathing, how the breath is going. In fact, there will come a point after a while where you held your eyes, you're not letting your eyes move, you're kind of conscious about not allowing them to move much. There is a point where your eyes are fixed. In fact, your breath and that point will synchronize after a while. It's as if you're breathing through that point, and you're observing that point. You're breathing in and breathing out is happening from that point. It will happen like that. And that's all that you have to do, and sit down for half an hour. not more than that. There's nothing, there's nothing more, there's not more for you to do other than this. So every time when you begin this journey, for instance, we'll do a 5 minutes meditation after a while, 5-10 minutes, just to give you the hang of how you could go inward. When you begin this journey, then don't put too high marks, or your goals should not be so unapproachable that, okay, I'm starting this sitting down for meditation work, and I want within a month to attain samadhi, or I want to enter into deep levels of samadhi. Don't give yourself such unrealistic and unattainable goals that will frustrate you and ask you to leave the path. Your goal should be how good I'm feeling, how good I'm feeling. Am I able to sit for half an hour without moving? My muscles and my hands and my legs and feet, everything is fine even after half an hour. I'm not having pain anywhere. These are the goals. I can sit without moving. My feet are not going numb. My back is not aching or hurting me. And half an hour I could sit, very beautiful. Reward yourself with a good feeling that you're able to sit. And this needs to go on for months together. It helps when you do this thing every day at the same time. It really helps. Your body gets trained, just like you get used to getting up in the morning or sleeping at night at a particular time. Your body gets trained, it gets programmed. In the same way, meditation becomes a programming. And then at that time, you easily slip into, if you change the time, then every time the body has to understand, okay, what are you doing? Your brain has to understand. So it's nice if you fix up your time. And they say that the best time is the Brahma Muhurat. However, there are many people who can't get up so early. So it's okay if you are able to fix up any other time. Evening time is also nice. I've always said in all my lectures and workshops, I always say that the best time for you to do your meditation is between 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. That's Sattva time. It's Sattva time from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. is Rajasic time. It's by nature, by default, there's Rajas. So there's activity, and all your organ system and the blood flow and the breath and the brain cells and everybody enters. All of the cells enter into a Rajasic energy. So that's a time when meditation can be difficult for you, because it's basically vibrating in Rajas. Okay. Then again, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. is Sattva. It's ruled by Sattva again. It's a time for withdrawal and relaxation, and we say Shranthan and Swapan, time. So at that time also you can. So evening time also is nice. Around the sunset time, is also nice. You can sit down and meditate. And then from 8 p.m. onwards to 4 a.m. in the morning is tamasic time. Tamas is not bad. Tamas is about relaxing, and it's dark, and it covers the sunshine with a layer. And so you're meant to sleep at that time, you're meant to rest at that time, and that's why it would be difficult. Meditation would be difficult. However, I know a lot of people who meditate late at night after they've finished their work, and they're a lot of people, many people I know. Also people who get up at 3:30 in the morning and meditate, also all right. So time, you should be informed about this thing, but not taking it to into your brain in this way that, oh, I can't meditate if this is not a Sattva time. No, choose the time that is best for you, and your body is cooperating, your mind is cooperating, and make that time your everyday meditation time. A timetable and a discipline is very important. A timetable and a discipline is very important. See, however compassionate all your teachers and masters are, including me, we are always compassionate. We're always telling you to, okay, do it with love, do it with ease. But there has to be a little tight, a little loose kind of an approach in your spiritual practices. A little tight, a little loose. Don't be so loose. Don't let yourself so loose that you're, somebody was asking me that day, I can lie down and do my japa. You can, she's not well. she's not well, which can I lie down and do my japa? Yes, if it's a bedridden condition, one can do it, and there's a beautiful thing to do. But if you want to do your japa, that's not the way to do the japa. You have to sit down and do it. Similarly, there are meditations, lying down meditations, dancing meditations, and meditations that one can just open eyes and can meditate. There are so many possibilities are there for you to come into ekagrata, or to come into convergence of energy. There are many possibilities, but they're all helpful to take you into a deeper level. So actual meditation happens only when you're in complete stillness with eyes closed, right? So why don't we train ourselves from the day one to sit in absolute purest form or purest way of meditating, instead of taking this help and that help and then weaning and coming out of those habit, whatever you get habituated to. It's nice to train yourself from the beginning to straightforward meditate in the purest form, the way the Shiva does, the way the Shiva does. So once your eyes are closed and then you're exploring, you're just watching your breath, and you're watching your, the movement of your chest and stomach, and then you're becoming aware of your eyes, and you fix them up to a point, and then let the breath and the eyes, these remain in the observation of these two things, and that's it. Your mind will go here and there within a few minutes. It will again start thinking something. All you have to do is bring it back again to the eyes. Just bring it back again to the eyes. Just bring it back again to the eyes. So with everything done with love, not with resistance or not with rebel. Even when your mind is wavering, oh shit, why is this going like that? No, don't resist, don't fight, don't rebel. Just very lovingly, carefully bring it back again and breathing again, and so there is 100% acceptance of everything. You have a smile on your countenance, there's peace, there isn't struggle, or there isn't anything that you are, working hard to achieve. No, this has to be a very relaxed and the most relaxed time in in your day, in fact. All right. So once you have, learned how to kind of keep in observation the breath and the eyes and this, slowly, consistently, you will progress. Slowly, consistently, you will progress. How long does it take? It might take anything from 4 months to 5 months to 6 months to even a year. Just one fine day, suddenly, you might transcend and you might enter into a space which is lighted and beautiful. And now that I'm completely awake, but I can feel, that I'm in the light. You'll have an experience of this kind. Even if you don't get it, it's okay. All right. I'm not putting a goal in your head. No, this is normally what happens with people. But then suddenly you may find the next day you're chasing that experience and you're not getting that experience again. For days together, you're chasing, oh, that day I had such a lovely, I want to achieve that state. I want to be in that state, that I don't know how it happened that day. So if you understand correctly, logically, it happened that day, you didn't do it that day. It happened that day, you didn't do it that day. So it'll happen some other day. You don't have to do it. Your commitment should be only to sitting down. Only to sitting down. Okay. And that ensures that you're going to be there where you want to reach. That will ensure that you'll be there where you want to reach. And it's a journey of lifetime. Okay. It's a journey of lifetime. We are brought up and conditioned from our childhood to think that, okay, a graduation is 3 years, or this is 4 years degree or diploma, or 5 years. I'm going to finish it now. I'm going to be a doctor now, or I'm going to. So we are programmed, conditioned with these timelines, and that's not true for your prayers. That's not true for your japa. That's not true for your meditation. For all spiritual practices, there is no such thing like you to do it for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, and then you'll go there and then you'll graduate, then you go into post-graduation. There isn't anything like that. These are lifelong commitments, and it's a lifestyle, lifelong commitments, and it's a way of life, so it's how long should I be meditating? I'm not reaching anywhere. I had a man who said that 15 years, 20 years I've been meditating, and I have not, I can't, share with you any extraordinary experience that I've had. So that's all right. But then I've also met people who share their experiences with me. So that's all right. I asked him one thing, do you feel like leaving it? He says, no, it's become so much a part of my life that I said, that's it. That's what God wants from you. That's what God wants from you, that you have to make it a part of your life. You know, the silence that you're touching is all that God wants from you. The peace and the very conscious no movement and the very conscious stillness that you're creating in your body without letting your limbs and your limbs and your feet and your body not to move. This is all God wants from you. What you experience later, and always remember, whenever you do something, whenever you're committing to some practice, spiritual practice, there is an impact which is fathomless. Always believe in some fundamental laws of spiritual practices. There is an impact. It's not always tangible. It's not always tangible. There is an impact. There is an impact. You don't expect that the universe is not going to reward you or give you anything if you're committedly sitting for half an hour with the eyes closed and your soul, you're connecting to your soul. You think the universe is not going to reward you with something. You will be rewarded something fathomless. It's not always tangible. Always understand this. They say that a lot of things happen when you sit and meditate. That which you do, that what happens naturally to your body in the deep sleep state. That what happens to your body naturally in the deep sleep state happens in a conscious meditation session, and which means that the restfulness that your cells receive in a deep sleep state, the same restfulness the body and the cells receive when you're meditating. Also, the connection of the soul with the universal soul. That means Atma and Paramatma communicate in meditation. They communicate in meditation. There is a shower of light that is, bestowed upon you when you meditate. They say that the soul, the souls, there are centric points of the soul. The soul is the waking state. When you're awake in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, the soul is centric here in the brain. That means the soul is there everywhere in your body. Consciousness is everywhere in the body, but there's a centric point. It's centered here in the brain in your waking state, which is why your ego identity is awakened, and which is why your brain is functioning. The intellectual faculty is very sharp and bright when you're waking up. So the whole day, because you have to function through the brain and through the ego identity, your soul is centric here. In the sleeping state, that means when you go to bed at night, there is a time when you're in a dreamlike state, when your body is relaxed but your mind is active, and when you're thinking, yet your body is completely in bed. Or even through the day, whenever you are in complete relaxation, or you've gone into the temple and you've closed your eyes. So what happens? The soul comes down from this level to the throat level, back of the throat area. So the centric point of the soul at that point in a dream state is here at the backside of your throat. All right. And it is only when you go into a deep sleep state, when you go into a very deep sleep state, when you have just lost your identity and you don't know who you are, and the world has come into a zero and you're not aware of any, like almost dead. At that time, the soul comes from here to here, heart-centric. It's heart-centric. That this is the home for the soul. Okay, this is the home for the soul. And here something extraordinary and magical happens. Here in the heart center, something extraordinary and magical happens. We have nadis that go, through the crown upward. The connection of the soul instantly connects with the universal soul and connects with the cosmos and connects with the existence. And Atma and Paramatma, they communicate. There's a connection, and there's a shower of light and a rejuvenating and a recharging kind of a shower of light happens in the hriday, in the heart. And this happens in the deep sleep state. For that brief 1, 2, 3 hours that you are in deep sleep state, it naturally happens. This recharges your entire being. This recharges all the cells of the body. You're fueled with something that you wake up in the morning and you're fresh and full of energy again. Suppose you couldn't sleep at night and go into a deep sleep state. The next day you feel very tired. You're not up to it. You say, I couldn't sleep. You were sleeping maybe for 8 hours or 10 hours in your bed. But if you don't touch the deep sleep state, then your body feels very tired, right? So this deep sleep state is when the soul-centric point comes to the hriday or to the heart. And this happens in meditation. This happens organically. in meditation. So when you sit down for your meditation, your soul is here in the waking state. As you relax, as you keep looking at your breath, and as you keep relaxing your body, it comes here. Most of the people who meditate, their soul centric point is here. And that's why the physical body is at rest, but the mind is working. The physical body is at rest, but the mind is working. It's only and only by nature that the soul can slip from here to here, come to the heart. And it is then that you have an experience of meditation. You enter into a lighted space. You enter into, you have transcended the levels of your mind, and you come here. So this is not something, you can't pull your soul down here. It's something that has to happen very organically. And even if you're here, your entire body receives the benefits of complete relaxation. And there is a light that you connect to even at this stage when the soul is here. Okay. So my suggestion to you would be, this class was to give you some tips. And my suggestion to you would be that your first step begins with committing to meditation. And that's why, sit down, put a practice of sitting down for half an hour every day, and the rest of it will follow. You would be guided, you would be taken on in a progressive path and in a journey. And if you want to take any help, then the best help would be to listen to a track, nothing more than that. Don't go into any fancy kind of, those are not meditations when you're dancing and doing this. They're relaxations. They're good, they're therapeutic, they're healing, they're very, very beautiful, but it's relaxation. It's not meditation. In the yin and yang, in the Shiva and Shakti principle, we always say that when you're meditating, you're touching the Shiva. That means you're touching the soul. You're concerned with the soul. And all kinds of healing happen with Shakti, with energy. So all kinds of, when you're doing something that is therapeutic and there is relaxing your nerves and that's relaxing your this, and you're lying down and you're putting candles, you're putting aromas, you're listening to music, and you're giving hands-on or relaxing in some way, you're utilizing the power of the Shakti. That's a healing process. It's not a meditating process. Meditation process happens only when you are sitting like a Shiva and meditating like a Shiva. Okay, it's masculine. Meditation is masculine, whereas healing is feminine. Get it? The approach to these two subjects needs to be understood. So, Ritali, you can unmute them. We'll have some quick question answers with everyone. You can allow them to, yes, any questions? Yeah.
Ma, I just wanted to say one thing.
Yes,
the way that you told us today that why not listening to the music, because you don't want to involve any of your sensory organs. This, I just want to thank you for that, because I never understood why is it that it needs to be done like that. So thank you for that, Ma.
Thank you, Anuragini. Yes, any questions, please?
Your last statement about meditation is masculine and healing is feminine is something that has clicked to me, Ma. For the first time I'm hearing this, somebody saying this. Never knew about this concept, but you made it so simple and clear, and it's time to think and go deeper into it.
Yeah, so there need not be any emotional upheavals and any emotional involvement and the self-love and this and that involved in meditation. Meditation is absolute stillness, the Shiva principle. So it's like you are a yogi and you're sitting and meditating. This needs to be told to your brain. So don't go pampering yourself with 20 things. Then that becomes healing. Then that's not meditation. Get it? Yeah.
Pranam.
I have a question.
Pranam. So
Pranam.
with regards,
Yeah.
So, Ma, I have attended CI class, and from that, the journey has been beautiful. I told you what happened in the body. I mean, there is no nerve pains and the kind of practices that we are following. This beautiful thing that you told at the end, the Shiva and Shakti part, as other people did mention about it, that's a beautiful journey. One question, Ma. So, when we meditate, healing naturally happens with that. You don't have to focus on healing. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely right. From the stillness, the energy has originated from the stillness. Shakti has, come out of the stillness. So healing happens automatically. And, when you're meditating, don't think about healing. That's not what you're meditating for. you're meditating to communicate with the universe or to be in oneness with the universe and to allow your soul to experience the oneness in the universal soul. So the purpose of meditation is not healing. When you remove that from your head, you have out of 24 hours, if you're meditating for half an hour, you can remove healing out of your head for half an hour. There are 23.5 hours more for you to think about healing. Correct?
Correct, Ma. So, Ma, do we need to put any kind of an intention that I'm just surrendering? That's all.
That's it. No, when I say that it's not healing time for you, it's meditating time for you. There is no intention, zero intention. Zero intention. It has to be without any passionate drive or without any kind of I had this today, I'm going to do it, I'm going to make it, nothing like that. It's utter surrender. Put your head on the ground. It helps a lot. I'm telling you, I do it every day and I know the importance of doing it. You put your head on the ground every day and think about all the great powers in the world that that sustain and make the system work. Surrender to this power and say, I'm just going to close my eyes, uplift me and take me in thy arms, or uplift me and take me in thy power. And this to kind of malleate and to dissolve the ego is a very important step somewhere, because you're taught from childhood. It's so unfortunate that from the KG standard, we are asked to pick our bags and we are asked to open our books and we are asked to write. Otherwise, we will fail. We have been told that if you don't do your work, you're going to fail. So that's a very, very deep conditioning, very deep conditioning. It's very difficult to uncondition that. And meditation is not to be done. It's not to be done. It's not to be done. It has to happen. So it's very important to uncondition yourself from this doing factor. Put your head down and surrender and say, I'm just going to close my eyes and I'm just going to love my breath and love my, my soul and my body. And I'm just going to be involved in whatever, thought that suits you. Everybody has a different thought pattern. I'm relaxing my breath, I'm relaxing my muscles, and I'm just sitting. To me, when I sit in a baby's stance, when I sit in the stance of a child, it works the best. I'm a chota sa bacha, I'm a small little child, and the universe is the parent. He'll do what he wants to do with me. I've been asked to close my eyes and sit for half an hour. I'm going to do that. I don't know anything more now. I don't have to do anything more now. Just program yourself and sit down. It works the best. Yeah.
Thank you, Ma.
Ma?
Yeah.
Ma, for the japa, you said that it's not a good idea to lie down. But there's a gamut of japas when somebody has in their bag. I mean, you start off the day and then you go through the day completing your rounds of the mala. So sometimes, the last 2-3 rounds, one is doing it while lying down or walking in the garden or something like that.
See, when you're having these numbers to finish, when you're having these numbers to finish, then, it is understood that sometimes you may relax or put on an inclined chair or walk. It's not possible to sit for hours together doing the japa. That's perfectly all right. But that shouldn't become like, okay, I'm doing my japa now, here I go, and you lie down on the bed and do the japa every day. So that's a problem is, as a teacher, when you allow something, then there are students who would pick that up and then make that away. So that is something that I don't want people to do. Out of your japa, how many ever malas you're doing, at least a few malas should be done sitting with a lot of reverence and sitting in a asana, in a seat, and properly doing it. And a couple of them you could do, with your walk or with your sitting in the chair. So you give yourself the freedom, but little by little, not to take yourself to such an extreme that, do it without any kind of rules and regulations. Consequently, you would be rewarded. The way you do it, that's the way you would be rewarded. So understand that as much as possible, have a proper sitting way and have a proper method to following it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my gratitude and pranam to you. This is the first time that I have actually come and I have heard you, and I've kind of, I've known of you, of course, from Ritali and Pri, that is Priyanka Kore. It was very enlightening today, especially the part where, you're talking about music being played as a habit. I have been there and done that, and I know that too. Also, the fact when you're talking about the heart space and you're talking about the neck and, these things, like I had never read about them, but when you're talking, it's like resonates. I am not a meditator, have never done that, but would love to sometime experience your classes. One of whenever it comes, especially when you talked of Dashvidya. I mean, it was like, it's something that kind of pulls. So would love to know more from you. And I hope that the universe conspires and brings me there.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Seemaji. Namaste.
Pranam, Ma, can I share?
Yes, Suchita, please.
Ma, this CI Plus, where you have actually taught the real way of meditation, it has changed, it has transformed not only my life, but all those who are connected when you blessed me to teach this. And Ma, like the kind of people, they said that we were not aware what is meditation. It was a misconception. And even a person who is not spiritual at all, he doesn't know S of spirituality. Even they are meditating this CI plus, what you have blessed us with. And they can see so many transformations in their life. Ma, really, it's like you have actually taught us the real definition and the real meaning of meditation.
It's very beautiful.
Pranam to you, Ma.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you, beta. So it is like I said, it's very beautiful if you're initiated to a system, and otherwise also you will be taken care of. So, there are many different schools that teach you how to meditate. They help you. Nobody can take you into meditation. They will help you to sit down. They'll help you, give you ways and means. They'll give you symbols or something that will, take you inward. We have a course on CI plus meditation, which happens sometime. It will happen towards, maybe towards the end of this year.
Everyone must do it. Sorry to stop you here. Everybody must do this.
Yeah, towards maybe around October, we will try to put a batch around October. So if anybody wants at that time, it will be announced. So you will get your messages. All of you who are on board, you will get the announcement when it happens. In October, November, we'll do one batch. But even if it's not, even if you're not initiated, like I said, when you put your head down, there is a universal parent. We are in the womb of God. Everybody must realize this, that none of you are unprotected, unguided, unguarded. Everyone, we are all living, we are all thriving, we are all growing in the womb of God. It's only that, you have to remind yourself of this, that I am being taken care of and I'm being guided. When your mind becomes open to this receiving, you receive everything. I told you just a small event before we began, started with the class of how the connection, takes you into a series of events and experiences so beautiful. So believe that you're not alone and you're not unguarded and you're not unprotected. Believe that you're in the womb of God and everything is happening very organically and beautifully. And whatever is possible to learn. It's nice. Yeah. Okay. What more? What next? Tell me.
Ma, Hare Krishna, Ma. Pranam.
Namaste. Pranam.
Namaste, Ma. Ma, I had a question. I usually do japa on the counter. Is that all right, or do I need to do it on japmala?
Well, japmala is a tried and tested way of the rishi, and it has its own charm. It has its own charm. The beads, the feel of the beads in your hands and the counting. It has its own charm, but we are in modern times now, and everything, there is reformation happening in everything. We are reformed, we are more evolved, we have changed. So counter is all right. It's absolutely fine. A lot of people use it. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ma. Pranam.
Ma, I wanted to ask a question.
Ji, Aradhita.
Ma, like when we are meditating, how do we know that we have gone into meditation or we are sleeping?
So you won't sleep sitting down. Okay, if your body goes to sleep, you will fall down, and then wo aise hil jaoge aap. It will be like, suppose you are going to sleep, you will go into a jhapki like that. The body will your body will itself tell you that you're going to sleep. So nothing happens. You can't go into deep sleep sitting down like that. That never happens. It can never happen. So that means that you've entered into a silence. That means that you've entered into a silence. If you're still sitting down, and if you've gone into a lost kind of a timeline, that means you have entered into some stage of meditation, some stage of meditation. There are different stages of samadhi, different stages of samadhi, different layers of when you enter and go deeper and deeper. So some stage you have entered. You can't go to sleep and still be sitting. That doesn't happen. Yeah.
And while lying, it can happen. I've been doing Sudarshan Kriya, and after the Kriya, they say that lie down. And while you lie down, something happens. I could never figure out that I go to sleep or I go into samadhi, but everything goes blank.
Yeah, when you say that you're not doing anything, then let everything happen organically. Aap apna by the rule kariye. You do your practice by the rule. Let God take care. Let your masters take care. Let the other dimension take care. You do it as a rule. And I'm very sure that you don't go to sleep. It is some extreme state of relaxation and maybe an entry of a samadhi state. Yeah. It is not deep sleep. It doesn't happen like that. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
I have a question, small question.
Yes, dear. Nayanti.
Yeah. It's not related directly to meditation, but sometimes I'm not able to sleep between 12 to 3 in the night. But what one can do to keep will help us in the sadhana or something, because empty minds is like a devil house. So what I can do that time.
So at that time, you need to train, because this waking up in the middle of the night also becomes a habit. It becomes a kind of a program. It's all brain program. They get wired, so you need to break that cycle. Number one, don't switch on the light. Don't switch on the light. Even if you awaken, you get up from the bed and you switch on the light and you sit and start reading something, or you go put on the TV or switch on your computer. Don't do that. Don't put your body into activity. That's a must. Don't put your body into activity. If you wake up at 12 in the morning, in the midnight, and wide awake, don't switch on the light, and consciously get on into either a mantra chant or counting. Reverse counting puts you into deep sleep, deep state of relaxation. Reverse counting, that means from 100, start counting backward, to number 1. That is very relaxing, and it often takes you into transcendental state. Yeah. Or start counting your breath, so from 1 to 100, start counting your breath. So put yourself in an inward activity, not on an outward activity. Don't switch on the light. Don't give yourself options. Okay, let me finish this then if I'm awake. So that will teach your body to waken up completely. That this is something, and you might struggle with this for 2-3 days, but the third day you will go to sleep.
But can I do mantra chant also?
Yes, but lie down and do mantra chant, not a problem.
And what is the benefit of breaking these identities? Like, you're born into a family, you're born as a daughter, a wife, you become your sister, whatever. So unless we are going to break all these, we can't become, or we can't reach where we want to reach.
No, it's not like that. See, everything is organically happening, Pooja, in this world. There isn't anything that a person does. Actually, it's a process of happening. It's a process of happening. I've known a lot of people who have wanted always to be a renunciate, but they couldn't all their life. Then I've known people who never wanted to be renunciates, but they have become renunciates. And also these breaking these ego barriers that you talk about, limitations of family, limitations of personality, identification, etc. Everybody is having these. There are only some, and out of the soul's journey, you have to take into consideration the soul's journey from eternity to this point where you are. Your soul is not just the life of puja. Your soul's journey is not just the life of puja. Your soul's journey has been so many different characters that he has lived, the soul has lived to reach here, the point where puja is. So puja has a limited story, but the soul does not have a limited story. So in puja's story, whether there are certain limitations and there are certain bindings or not, that is puja's story. That's not the soul's story. At a point, the soul does not require anything. It doesn't require to abandon anything, or it doesn't require to take anything, to be in a state of enlightenment, because it is already enlightened. All right. These identities that the soul is going through, different names and different lives, one after the other goes through, different stories and different journeys. In some of these, they may leave the identity and go to a higher level. In some of these, they may touch upon higher levels. Nevertheless, it's not a criteria, it's not a compulsion. It's not a must point. For instance, I'll tell you, let's say in one lifetime, a person abandoned everything and left everything and went into complete renunciation, and he had certain desires which were remaining, and he takes birth again into another life, and in this life, he carries forward all the thoughts of renunciation and all the virtues and all the benefits of renunciation in him, and yet he is involved in a worldly life because he had those desires, carried forward. He's living a worldly life, but is a renunciate at heart. Now, who taught him to be involved in worldly life, yet be a renunciate at heart? Nobody has taught him. He's born with it. He's organically born with it, and it is not given to him for free. He has earned it out of his previous births. So the virtues and the blessings and the maturity, spiritual maturity that you're carrying with you is not being granted to you just like that by anybody, X, Y, Z. They are your own punya carried forward, their own attainments carried forward. And what you do in this life shall be carried forward in the next life. It's a self-monitored, perfect, error-free machine. I say the human body is a self-monitored, independent, flawless machine where the recording of all that you do and you don't do is happening inside. God is sitting as your soul, sitting inside of you and recording everything. There is no outside interference into this recording system. Get it?
Yeah. Thank you, Ma.
Ma, I have a question. Can I
Yes,
ask?
Abhijit.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. So, Ma, I am new into spirituality, all right? And it's been 2 months that I've been practicing that, and I've also been meditating. And so my experience about this is that, in the evening, like between 6 to 8, when I meditate, okay, I try to, but I cannot concentrate. One of the easiest way for me to is change my time, all right? But that time is something that I am free and I am available. But when I close my eyes, when I center myself, okay, I get that that negative feeling experience, like negative energies around me, and I get scared and I cannot concentrate, right? So I'm just curious to know, like, what's there, like, why does that? And when I do it in the morning, I don't experience anything like that.
So you need to, you need to change your time. We're talking about a period of half an hour. We're talking about a period of half an hour that can fit itself in any of the 24-hour cycle. Anywhere you fit that half an hour when it is most comfortable, when it's most beneficial for you. And if you don't experience these negative things in the morning, then you should, on the topmost priority, put your meditation time in the morning, period. In the evening, 6 to 8 o'clock, the collective thought, I'll tell you, there are a lot of people who meditate between 6 to 8. Many people do that. But I know that there is a collective thought which is very active and exhausted at that time, correct? People have worked through the day and people have had a lot of thoughts happening in the mind, and the evening is coming and they are all wanting to go back home, and there is a lot of unrest. There is a lot of weary and tired thought process, a collective thought process that also works with you. In the Brahma Muhurat, for instance, the collective thought process is that of peace, and that's of sleep. Most of the people are sleeping at that time. There is no chaos. There's no collective chaos. It's a very silent time, including, the natural processes of the plants and of the sun and of all the things organic are very conducive to meditation at that time. So you need to put it as a priority and change your timing to morning when these negative things are not A, affecting you. B, if you still want to do it from 6 to 8, you can do it, because man's willpower and free will is a very big thing. It's a gift from God. And when you align it to God forces, do a little bit of part or do a little bit of japa before you enter into meditation, and take a protection, take a conscious matrix or some kind of a symbol on you that could give you protection, and sit. आप अपनी जिद से चाहे तो कर सकते हैं उस time पे भी. But because I'm always encouraging people to enter into loving commitments with your practices, So if your commitment is with love, then why not do it at a time which is more conducive and better? Correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pranam, Ma.
Ma.
Yeah, Manvi, bolo beta.
Ma, I have a question regarding the way to chant. Like, Ma, in those who are initiated into mantra chanting, so in ISKCON, like they tell us to chant loudly. And but I've seen the brahmacharis there, they even chant in their breath. So, Ma, which is the fastest way to feel that peace and connect faster to the universal soul?
So ideally, where you learn, the source or that person or that master should be answering this question, but I will tell it to you that most of the schools want you to chant the mantra aloud so that all your senses are intaking that. You're intaking that mantra very clearly and audibly. You're hearing. You're the first person who is doing the shravan of the mantra that you are chanting. Correct? When you're saying it aloud, that it's like that with stotras. I don't teach people to read stotras in the mind. I teach them to speak them loud. Right? So when you say them loud, then you're the first person who's hearing it and it goes into your brain. So in the initial stages of mantra chanting, it is recommended by many schools, I don't recommend it in the Mahaganpati group. I have not insisted on that. You could whisper, or you could do a couple of rounds audible, slow audible that you can hear. But the school that you're talking to, they insist on doing it loudly so that you hear and it gets wired into the brain nicely. Then you move into a second stage where you could just be whispering, and then you move into a third space where it is in the mind. That's the way many people teach that. First make it, let it be audible, then take it to the whispering stage, then take it to the mental stage.
Okay, thank you, Ma.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
Shalini,
yes. I have a query.
There's two things.
Yes, Shalini.
You had said about the mantra that the science of saying it loud, because the tongue moves in and it sort of touches certain pressure points.
Yes.
So say it a few rounds with that so that you activate that, and then the sound vibration in your brain. So that was one thing I do keep in mind, and then I go into a little silent way of doing it because I can't be always doing it.
So it is normally anybody who teaches you or initiates you into a mantra chanting will always say that, because the mantra, especially few of the mantras which have pure syllables or sound mantras, they need to sit on your jivha. They need to sit, the ucharan has to sit on your jivha, the pronunciation has to sit on your tongue. And, it's like a kind of an initiation. You're self-initiating. When you say it aloud, it sits very beautifully on your jivha, and your breath gets aligned with chanting the mantra. If you notice now, for all those of you who are doing the mantras in the Mahaganpati group, you'll notice that there is a rhythm in which you start saying the mantra. There is a rhythm. There is a breath gap that comes automatically, when you're taking, because you've taught now, it's self-taught, where to take the gap and where to take the inhalation and when the exhalation. If you notice it, it is already been trained, so that begins, it's nice to begin it with the audible pronunciation. Yeah.
And my second point was when some people say they prefer to meditate in the evening and morning, I've done both. And I find that when I do meditation in the evening, especially 7 p.m. onwards, I'm so active that I just can't sleep.
Yeah.
But in the morning, it takes me a long while to fall asleep, maybe at 1 o'clock at night or something.
Yeah.
But when I do it in the morning, it sets the tone and the energy and the confidence to get through the day with ease.
Very beautiful. This is a very relevant point. Entering into a state of meditation is like recharging your cells again, with the shower of light, and that can actually cut down your hours of sleep. It can actually cut down your hours of sleep. So for a lot of people who meditate in the evening, they're not able to sleep well at night then, because they have taken their share of resting in the meditation. Of course, but this will happen only if you're entering into a transcendent state. Otherwise, it won't happen, So if you have started entering into this space of silence where you feel you're left your lower mind and you've entered into a higher mind, or even the lighted space with later, then you try to set your timing in such a way that your sleep pattern is not affected. Yeah, you need to set your timing in such a way, in any which way it is advised by the rishis and by all our teachers and masters to do the meditation in the morning. It's always the best time, always the best time. Yeah. Beta, Vijaya, tell me, beta. Namaste.
Very glad I'm here, and I'm absolutely loving this session and hearing such lovely things from you. There is there's something slightly personal I would like to ask, if I have your permission.
Sure.
Okay. So I come from a background of corporate, and for about 12 years, then I quit my job to pursue yoga, because that's what my calling was, to pursue wellness, yoga, and meditation. And it's been about 1.5 years that I've been meditating and teaching yoga. Now, what I want to know is, ma'am, of course, there is something that there was a call, like you said, there was a call right from a very early age that I wanted to do something related to this. And I was hearing my inner call. Now I'm at a stage where I do feel like I want to, let's say, have a partner or have a family, not necessarily children, but maybe adopt children and look after the world. That's something that comes naturally to me. But I also have a very strong side where I do want to explore myself spiritually. So do you think such people should or should not, because that comes to my mind, should I go into a family structure, a social structure, or should I just continue this? Is it possible to balance both?
Well, the surrender, Vijaya, I understand your question there. The question in itself is seated in a state of no surrender. You know, the question is seated in a seat of no surrender. When there is surrender and you understand God knows what's good for me, I'm open to both, jumping in the valley or being on this top where I am. I'm okay to doing both. If God wants me to explore the valley, then he can push me down there. And if he wants me to sit and enjoy and rain the winds and the earth, and then I'm sitting here in my own seat. I am complete the way I am, but I am also surrendered to the way God wants me to be. Be in that mode, be in your happiness. Don't leave your seat of happiness for anything, and don't leave your seat for seeking anything. There isn't anything that anybody has to seek in this world. You have all that you need for at this time in your timeline. You have all of it given to you by God. The very moment you forget that you are being looked after, then the pressure of the pressure of taking care of yourself arises. The moment you forget that the parent knows exactly which school to put me into and how much to trash me or to love me or to feed me, the parent knows. Then there is no question of me thinking. So what is my responsibility then as a child? As a child, my responsibility is to finish the work that is at hand. Whatever work God has given you, the role of a teacher, the role of teaching yoga to others and leading them in 100% surrender, in 100% joy and happiness of fulfilling this role is how you need to lead your life. A partner or no partner, a child or no child, a family or no child, leave it to him. And I'm sure in this blossom state, the best will happen to you. Yeah. Yeah.
A beautiful answer. Thank you. Beautiful question though.
Yes, it is. So that was so lovely. Do you have any other questions, or can we end the session? We'll do a 10 minutes meditation. Should we do a 10 minutes meditation? All right. Wonderful. I want all of you to come in a state of surrender to the divine and to the Almighty and to the power. Call him God, call him existence, call him universe, call him the consciousness that surrounds us, the all-pervading, fathomless presence of God that we are living in. We are living in the womb of God. We are not living outside of God, and we don't have to search for God anywhere. We are living in the womb of God. We are living in the consciousness. We are living within the spirit of the universe, So can I come in touch with him is the attitude that you should have. Can I forget myself for a moment, and can I come in touch with him is the approach that you should take when you're in meditation. Please close your eyes. Let us surrender onto this power. Imagine that your head is touching down the ground in complete surrender to this fathomless, beautiful power that has brought me to this level of evolution and that shall take me further on the path. To this beautiful power, I surrender, and I offer my reverence, I offer my breath, I offer my prana, I offer these moments of silence. With your eyes closed now, be aware of your breath. Put a soft smile on your face while you're observing your breath. How valuable, how precious is this breath? How valuable, how precious are these moments when I am able to breathe? Be aware of your chest going up and down. Take your focus to your eyes now, to your eyeballs. Still them for a moment. Don't let them move here and there. Just let them be, as if you've pressed the pause button of a video and everything has stopped. The movie has stopped. When you take your focus to the eyes, when you don't let them move, it's as if you press the pause button of a video and everything has come to a standstill. Your body has become like a statue. Be aware of that smile on your face. Be aware of your breath. Be aware that my eyes are controlling the movement, so I'm not letting my eyes move. Let them just be focused somewhere, at one point somewhere. Like a child who has done everything, you don't have to do anything more. Like a child who has pressed the pause button and has a smile on the face and is just playing statue. Just be in this silence. The mind stops working when your eyes are not moving. The mind stops working when you're aware of your breath. Just be with this peace. Experience this silence. There are no thoughts. With every exhalation, you enter into a more and more relaxed space, going deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper within. The identity dissolves as you go more and more inward. With complete relaxation. Observing your breath. Not moving your eyes. It's not a forceful holding the eyes. It's holding your eyes with love, as if you're just looking at one point somewhere. Bringing everything to a standstill. Let's enjoy this peace. Let us enjoy the silence for the next couple of minutes.